Hi, and now we're live on Basic Python Tutorials number 5, where we are going to go into strings. Now, this one may be a little longer because I'm going to do multiple things dealing with strings. Now, first off, a string is pretty much anything between quotations. So, that as double quotes is a string, or you can use single quotes as well to denote a string in Python. Now, this becomes useful, and as I showed you in the first episode on how we can put stuff onto the screen is by using something called print, which allows us to pretty much print whatever we want to the console, which we'll get into that later on when we're actually running a program. But for now, suffice it to say that if we type in print and then put something after it, it's going to print whatever value is stored to that onto the screen. So if we're putting a string here, it's just going to literally put that string. It's going to output it onto the console. Now, if you put a variable there, it's going to print the variable. But where the double or single quotations come into play is, say you're going to print, I said he cannot pass to the troll. And now see, I used double quotes throughout, and you can see how the coloring changes in here actually, which should be a clue as to what's going to happen. Now when we hit this, we're actually going to get a syntax error, and we're getting this error because we used the double quotes twice. And once Python hits a double quote, it's going to start so say once Python's reading this code to print it out, it hits this one and it says, okay, this is a string, I said, and then it hits this one again, and that's saying that that's the end of the string instead of continuing on. So now the he cannot pass is supposed to be code, and because it doesn't understand that code, you're getting a syntax error. Now to fix that, we can print and do a single quote, I said. Now do our double quote, he cannot pass, double quote, to the troll, single quote, and now that prints out perfectly fine because this is still encased within these quotes, which is all Python's reading is from this single quote to the single quote, and ignoring the double quotes because it's within the single quotes. Now if we go into here again and say print and then do double quotes, I said, and then do a single quote, he cannot pass, single quote, to the troll, double quote, we still get the same thing because it's still taking it off. I mean, it's not as aesthetically pleasing because it's not your double quotes throughout, but I mean, it would work that way and you wouldn't get a syntax error. So now that you know that, another way to get around that is there's two different options actually. Now, one that you can use within anywhere in Python and has to be used in certain areas, you could say print double quotes, I said, and then we'll put this backslash here, which is basically saying that we don't want whatever comes next to be thought of as code. And then we could use our double quote and do he cannot pass, and then another backslash to escape that again, and then put our other one, and then to to the troll, double quote. And as you can see, that also goes through just fine. Although putting those in is more of a pain in the, or not, more of a hassle than to just use the single quotes and then use your double quotes within. Myself personally, I always just use the single quotes when I'm doing a string, and if I have anything that's actually within there, then I'll go ahead and do the double quotes. Now, there is another option to get around this. You could also put print and then 3 quotes. And I said you cannot pass to the troll. And that would also work. You can use 3 to enclose within a string, and you can use 3 double quotes or single quotes, and it all still works all the same. Now, that's all good and well, and now we can do that. Now, another thing that you can do is you can do something called concatenating strings. Now, what this means is you can add strings together. Like, say I have hello, and then I want to add world to it. Now it prints it out all as one word. Now notice there it does put hello world to there, but what it doesn't do is it doesn't put a space there for you automatically. So now say I wanted to print hello world to the console and I wanted it to be meaningful. I will put print and then we'll do capital H, keep this somewhat grammatically correct, and then plus, and I'm just going to add a space in there, and then plus world. Now when I print this, you get hello world, and it's beautiful and it's spaced just like it should be. Now that works, and when you concatenate a string, it literally will just put what is on the second screen or on the second string to the first string for however many strings you continue to go. Now you could concatenate everything and put plus signs in between all of your strings. I mean, that's all up to you. Now, something you can't do is you can't concatenate a string and a number. So like say you wanted to say hi and then add 5 to it. Hi 5. Nope, that's not going to work. It won't concatenate a string and an integer object. They have to be strings. Now, if you wanted to make to where you could put 5 on there, you can do hi and then you could add and put str, which stands for string, and then put 5 in there. Basically what it's going to do is it's going to take that integer 5 and you're telling the program I want that integer to be a string, not an integer, and then hit enter and it works. Now you have hi 5. So you can make a integer into a string just simply by telling the program that it is a string, not an integer. But you have to actually tell it that. And that's as far as we're going to go for now, because I think this episode is getting fairly long. And we'll pick up strings some more in the next episode. Thank you for watching. Bye.